I had a job at the 4Kids company a few years back. The company that did the poorly made Sonic X dubs. I didn't care about the dubs though. I only wanted my money and I hated the show anyway. Sonic was dead to me by then. On the internet, I heard a rumor that Sega wanted to continue the horrible abominated wreck, but 4Kids refused to give up copyright for the show, so it was discontinued. I heard a colleague of mine and the boss talking about the future of Sonic X, and them refusing to give Cosmo, character of the third season, to BioWare, who wanted to use her for the new game Sonic Chronicles: The Dark Brotherhood. I wanted to ignore the conversation and wanted to proceed on copying my papers when suddenly the words Episode 79 fell. Okay, I hated that anime so much because of the pink hedgehog, Amy Rose, who was constantly chasing after Sonic with her silly dress and the high-pitched annoying voice. But I knew there were only 78 episodes. I stopped and walked over to two asking about the episode, but my colleague told me they already got rid of it. I shrugged it off and went back to doing my work. At 4 p.m., I could finally go home, but when I passed the trash containers by the facility, curiosity took over me and I peeked inside. I noticed a DVD case without any sort of cover, but there was a CD inside. I took it out and brushed off some of the dirt. The DVD had Episode 79 written on it with a black permanent marker. Bingo! I had found the last episode. Looking around, I didn't see anyone watching me, so I took the DVD case with me. I wasn't really excited about the episode and hoped it wasn't some stupid Sonic Amy crap polluting my TV screen. I only wanted to pull the episode into my computer and post it on YouTube to gain some fame. I got home and the first thing I did was put my bag away and make myself some dinner. For some reason I was very hungry. When I came back from work the next week, on a Wednesday, I finally remembered the DVD case still laying around somewhere in my living room. I walked over and opened the case. It had Project Sonic, Episode 79 written on it. I noticed it was starting to rain, so I closed the window to make sure nothing gets wet. After that, I cleaned the DVD. It wasn't a trash can after all. I went over to my HD TV and put the DVD inside my DVD player. Let's see what'll come up, I thought to myself. The DVD started instantly with the well-known intro from the third season of Sonic X. The annoying theme song blared in the speakers of my TV. Nothing odd until I saw that it was actually the Japanese logo instead of the English one. I guess I snagged a non-dud version. I was glad not to see the fucked up edits 4Kids dared to do. I could understand a lot of Japanese, being a proud weeaboo anime fan. I'm sure you knew what I'm talking about. The intro ended with each character posing in a group picture with Eggman in the background. I noticed Chris missing from the group picture. I guess it was some sort of tweak they made since Chris left to go home in episode 78. Just as the image faded to black, a loud thunderclap managed to cause a power failure. Of course it was only my house, since I asked my neighbors about it. Thankfully my laptop was still working since I left it on and now ran on battery. So I manually opened the disk platform and took the DVD out before closing it again, and put it into my laptop. Surprisingly, it didn't play the DVD, but showed the files that were inside the disc itself. Computer files. Next to the DVD's main file, I noticed there was a folder called Prisa. Confused at the name of the mysterious folder, I opened it out of curiosity, and it showed an alternate DVD file. I double-clicked it and it started to play, soon to be disappointed by a constant black screen. But I waited patiently for the beginning of the intro, but it never came. I waited for about 5 minutes before moving my mouse to close the file.
I did not forget.
I jumped at the distorted female voice as the screen flashed red for a split second. I closed up the file. That moment nearly gave me a heart attack. The thunderstorm outside my window was getting worse and louder. It was getting ever so closer. Since everything was already shut off, I didn't bother about it and exited the folder to play the original file. It played the intro, Chris still missing of course. The episode started with Amy and Cream sitting by a table with Vanilla. They were enjoying some cake with tea. I was disappointed when Amy started to cry out for Sonic's love again. Vanilla suddenly slammed her fist down on the table and leaned close to Amy.
"You know nothing about love, you moron,"
she yelled at her. Cream cringed and backed away. She's making his usual chow noises, looking sad as Cream hugged him close.
"It's how I lost him."
That's how she lost who? Oh, hang on. I'm sure you know Cream never even had a father. Thus, Vanilla had no husband.
I guess it wasn't true love then.
Amy taunted Vanilla instead of being reasonable. The camera zoomed in on Cream, who blinked as a flashback started. No white boys, thank God. With Cream and Vanilla walking along a park, Cream was holding a picnic basket. After a second, she asked her mother where their father was. Vanilla glared at Cream, who cringed and became quiet. It returned to the current scene with Vanilla slapping Amy across the face.
"How dare you speak of like that?"
The name was interrupted by a screen going black, for that exact moment the name would be told. I was disappointed. Vanilla continued, Amy, now on the floor, staring up at her.
"He was a hero. A hero you will never be. He gave his life for all of us."
Amy scoffed and got up, pouting angrily as she dusted her dress off.
No one's a bigger hero than my Sonic-kun.
Vanilla pointed towards the exit.
"Leave."
Amy idly waved her hand at Vanilla before exiting the building. Cream pleaded for Amy to come back, but the scene already showed Amy walking away from Vanilla's house. Vanilla pulled out a tissue as she started to cry. Cream walked over, worried about her mother. Vanilla bent down to Cream and gently hugged her, crying softly. Cream looked over Vanilla and asked the question I had in my mind.
Who is my father?
As Vanilla sat down and pulled Cream onto her lap, the screen cut to black again. I sighed softly in disappointment, but patiently waited for the screen to return.
"I did not forget what you did to me."
This time, I didn't really need to jump. It was the same female voice that scared me in the other file, but much calmer and less distorted. It was soft and it sounded sad. It was not Vanilla or any other voice actor the Japanese cast. I shrugged it off and continued to stare at my black screen. The screen returned with Amy knocking on Sonic's door, calling his name lovingly. Sonic sat on the couch, his feet on the table. As he heard Amy knock, he groaned and sat up straight. "It's her again," he muttered in an annoyed tone, as he got up and walked off to the door before opening it.
Sonic, you didn't forget about our date tonight, did you?
Amy smiled before turning to just walk off. It's probably a joke since Sonic promised Amy a date here and there, mostly when being out of character and he continuously forgets about them. Sonic facepalmed before closing the door again. He walked away to the couch before sitting down, noticeably sad. He looked up at something. The screen turned black again. "Oh, come on," I muttered angrily, but I decided to wait again, hoping none of these messages would pop up. But it did.
"Murdered."
The voice whispered this time. A picture flashed for a split second. Since it was on my computer, I could actually reverse the player to the exact point the picture flashed, and I was quite surprised at what I saw. It was Princess Sally Acorn. She didn't have a new style or anything. She looked like how she did in the old Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon or Sonic SatAM. She was staring blankly at the screen. Her face looked bland and empty. She was missing her mouth, and the whole picture had a red tint to it, especially her now crimson eyes. I snagged a screenshot of it, imported it to MS Paint, and saved it to my computer. I still have the file, called it sally.png. I continued to play the video. It took a while for the screen to return again, and the picture of Sally disturbed me, but it also made me happy. Did Sega actually not forget about Princess Sally after all? The screen returned. It had a faint white border to show it was a flashback scene. Does anyone remember Rosie the Rascal? The actual sweet little girl before that other pink bitch showed up? Yeah, she was walking along a forest, humming a playful tune. I think she was voiced by Cream's voice actor, only using a different voice pitch. Rosie entered a house that I couldn't really recognize. It was a wooden hut with hay for a roof. The camera cut to see the inside of the house. Most of the things inside were made of wood. At first, I thought it was supposed to be something trivial, but then I noticed the handheld computer, Nicole, on the small round table. It hit me. Was this Sally's hut? Indeed it was. The camera cut to see Princess Sally, who looked incredibly pretty in the Sonic X style, by the way, staring out of the window.
I hope Sonic will return from his mission soon. I'm worried about him.
Sally's voice. It was the voice from the messages in the black screens. Rosie stood there, looking at Sally in the background.
Are you Sally Acorn?
Rosie asked curiously as Sally whipped around, startled by Rosie.
And who might you be?
Rosie's smile faded and her expression was blank.
Answer me.
Sally blinked a couple times, but answered anyway.
Yes, I am.
The camera zoomed in on Rosie's face, front shot, which isn't usual.
And you love Sonic, right? And Sonic loves you?
Sally seemed irritated at that, standing up.
Who are you?
She asked again, sounding unnerved. Rosie didn't stop staring at Sally with those hateful, brownish red eyes.
Die.
The screen cut to black a final time. Loving Sally, I yelled out in dismay. Why would Sega do this? To me? To Sally? I waited, tears welling up in my eyes. Be there. Please be there. Live. The file ended. I let my head sink down in my arms, sobbing softly. Sally would never come back. Those bastards at the company murdered her, and no one would remember her. I stayed this way for a few more minutes before realizing that I still had that other file. Hoping Sally would be alive on it still. I clicked on the preserve folder and opened the second DVD file. Black screen, like before. I waited, still sniffling, being too lazy to blow my nose. The Sally image flashed again.
Sonic.
Sally's voice whispered. Another image flashed across the screen of my laptop. It was the same image, but the white part of her eyes were gone. Another picture of Sally, now her pupils missing, leaving her eyes as empty, black voids. The picture stayed this time, followed by a long silence. I was just about to close the file, starting to sob again. But then I noticed the picture was changing. Black gooish tears started to run down Sally's cheeks. Slowly, very slowly. Suddenly, a loud screech interrupted me. A reddish light was now in place of her pupils, staring right at me. I jumped, and those red pupils followed mine wherever I moved.
Free.
The image disappeared, and the screen went black again. I sighed and looked towards the ground. But soon after that, I heard the sound of wind blowing from my speakers. I looked at the screen again. Sonic was there, standing in the middle of a graveyard. He bent down to one of the tombstones, which was empty. The camera showed his sad face as he said, "Good night, my princess," in a gentle, loving tone as he set some flowers beside the tombstone before he left. Right as Sonic was out of sight, Amy came over, looking down at the empty tombstone angrily. She scoffed.
I can't believe he still won't give up.
Before she raised her hammer and yelled before smashing the tombstone as the file ended. I sighed sadly and closed the DVD player. When I looked again, the files in the DVD were gone. In their place was a text file. I didn't really want to, but I opened it anyway. Amy was not supposed to exist. She was created to replace Sally. Enough. I closed the text file and the folder, but I didn't have time to recover. As I was staring at Princess Sally, replacing my desktop.